presentation is going to be on the philosophy of education. So here's a little bit about me. My name is Jacob Swetland. I'm a choral music education major and an African American Studies minor. I am a mentor, tutor, professional conductor with advanced skills in music theory, music history, and choral conducting. I have the wonderful opportunity of being able to be an assistant director of choirs at Marina High School, and I also conduct a community choir in Irvine. So I feel like as if I'm interning at these two places because I get to know how a community choir is run, which I'm doing all by myself, and how a high school choir program, a well-known high school choir program, is run as well. An ultimate goal is to get a doctorate in choral conducting to teach at the collegiate level. But short-term goals is to finish my bachelor's in music education, which I graduate in 2022, and eventually teach high school, and then eventually that will lead to getting a master's, and that will lead to the ultimate goal of getting a doctorate. The purpose of education. The purpose of education is to foster a safe and effective learning environment for all students. The education classroom is a place of learning, a place of exploring, and a place of fostering development, right? Especially in the choir classroom, we are always fostering development, right? You want your students to improve. You want your students to get into the top choir, or you want your students to be able to perform a solo on stage at the end of the year. And they will be able to do that. They will be able to do that if you are fostering the development, fostering the learning, and fostering the exploring. That is allowed for that. The role of me, as a teacher, is to provide students with the tools and knowledge they need to be successful while also providing students with a safe classroom, right? I will give my students the music, the pencils, or the resources that they need, whether hopefully for free at the time, for them in order to be successful in the choir classroom, right? They really only need their music, their choir folder, and their pencil, and that's about it. And those are the tools for success in the choir classroom. And to provide them with a safe classroom. I want my students to come in and eat at lunch, have a conversation with me, be able to come to me if something is wrong, or be able to come to me if they have, problems at home that I can report to administration. Anything they need, I want the classroom to be safe for them. The role of the student is to apply their classroom skills and knowledge in their everyday life while also asking questions that challenge what is being taught. So the students will be able to go home, maybe play the 4-part harmony that we did in music theory, or maybe they will be able to sing their line by themselves at home. And also challenge, Mr. Swetland, why do we have to learn music theory? What is the importance of it? And challenge what is being taught. The importance of choral music. So this is obviously the subject I plan to teach in the future, and music encompasses nearly every core subject in school, and we can see by the picture on the right that it includes math, language arts, science, which also includes engineering, and social science. And this video down here in the bottom right shows the importance of choir in any age, whether you are young in elementary school or whether you're singing in a community choir, what it does to bring us together. If you're in the choir class, you'll learn history, where the music comes from and what is happening during that time. You'll learn science. What is the what is the science between tunings? How do our ears work in the tuning aspect? Math. How can we build a chord, a four-note chord? What is the space between each note? English. What text stress did the poet want here? Why is there a comma here when it's not usually when there's not usually a comma in modern English, right? All of these is encompassed into the choir classroom. The goals of singing in a choir. So these are all taken from NAFME, which is the National Association for Music Educators. And students will be able to sing alone and with others, along with improving their vocal abilities. They will be able to sing a variety of repertoire that dates all the way back from the medieval and Renaissance period to now. They'll be able to listen to and harmonize a melody that they hear, read and note tape music, and evaluate music and music performances. And this is all levels according to the California Department of Education standards and the NAFME standards, which is a national one. And this goes from novice all the way to advanced. So there we go. I plan on teaching the high school level. And we know high school students are very diverse. They're going through a lot of changes, and the choir classroom is there for them to go through their changes comfortably, right? So the public school students, according to those who can teach, I will be teaching students who are LGBTQ and who are on the gender spectrum, whose maybe English isn't their first language, who are in poverty or in the foster care system, or students who are homeless, students with learning disabilities, and firsthand experience at the choir program at Marina. We do have a lot of students with disabilities come in and work with the choir students, and they have this sense of normalcy about them when they come in and get to work with these students. And the students in the choir classroom are so inviting to the students with disabilities. And the students with disabilities are just so happy that they are getting help and that they are being mentored and that they are being in a positive environment. And I'll also be teaching students with a variety of racial and ethnic backgrounds. Students learn, especially in the choral classroom, by demonstration and by rote, right? Rote means that they will be listening orally, and by demonstration, I mean that I'll have to mimic a tall vowel or maybe a shallow vowel, and the phrasing of the music to them. In order for them to be successful, I need to phrase that in the rehearsal process, make sure it's reinforced, and then they'll be able to perform that phrasing or that text stress or the entire piece in the concert. So, music curriculum. It's contingent upon each class you have. So I put a sample structure here for maybe a high school choir program. So beginning choir, sometimes 2 classes, tenors and basses for anyone that identifies as a male, and sopranos and altos for anyone that identifies as a female. And that can change along with gender identity and whatever the singer feels comfortable with. An intermediate choir, a large mixed intermediate choir, and a smaller advanced mixed choir. And your students can move up to these different levels, or they can stay at a level that they feel comfortable at. And these are just samples. It is also contingent upon what type of program you are getting into, right? If you're if you are getting hired into a legacy program, this is most likely the structure you have. If you're not getting hired into a legacy program, you will have to build the structure. So here's a sample curriculum for a beginning choir. We have 4 major groups: imagine, select, analyze, and interpret. And each one has an essential question. How do students generate creative ideas? How do performers select repertoire? How does understanding the structure and context of musical works inform performance? And how do performers interpret musical works? And I based this off of a beginning choir. And so that's why in the curriculum, in parentheses, the curriculum standards, you'll see that NOV is for novice. So for example, if we were to do select, the essential question that I already said is how do performers select repertoire. I will select varied repertoire based on interests, music reading skills, technical skills, and these will be based on the skills of the ensemble and the student. I can't pick some crazy wild SATB for my beginning choir, because my beginning choir is people who have never sung before in their life, or maybe they've had a little bit of singing, but it's very, very frightened singing, right? So I have to slowly introduce them. I have to start off with easy pieces, and by the end of the school year, they will be able to sing those hard pieces, right? So in conclusion, going back to the other this curriculum, a way to assess students would probably be in this beginning choir a quartet assessment, where I am able to hear 4 students. I will know their voice, and I'll say, okay, sing measure 1 through 20 of The Rainbow by David Childs, and I will play the piano for them, and they'll sing measures 1 through 20, and that way I am able to informally assess their ability, their music reading abilities, see where the song fits in their voice, and I'll be able to see if they know the piece and if it's ready for them. And I'll be able to address those individual students that don't know the piece. So in conclusion here, music is more than just an elective that students can get an A in, right? Music encompasses all of these core standards that we see. Students benefit from choir by by excelling in their other subjects, and they're more likely to be sociable and break out of their shell. And even though the standards may be overwhelming, it is proper that each student in whatever choir class they're in gets the proper music education. And that is why choral music education is important in today's society.